Hi, my name is Tyler Church, and for the Capstone project for nonverbal communication, I will be analyzing Scarlet by Periphery. I'm a big metalhead myself, so I wanted to pick a song that was something I would enjoy so that throughout the course of the project, I would be able to get more information overall. Something I wasn't really concerned with at first, but did eventually become a concern, was the paralinguistics. This song has a decent amount of screaming in it, which isn't everyone's forte, but looking into the nonverbal communication with screaming as a factor, there was a great deal of information that I was able to get out of that. So nevertheless, we will start off with the sound off decoding. This music video starts off, and I heavily recommend that even if you're not a metalhead, please go check out this music video. Mute it if you have to. The music video is it's something. It starts off with a camera panning in to a spaceship that looks like a mustard bottle. As we go inside, there's a group of men, all are jovial. They're stereotypical happy guys. They're all high-fiving, walking down the hallway. And the camera pans to another man who I'll refer to as N, but we don't talk about him too much after this point. N has more of a somber, sad look. He's looking out the window. We can tell this because he has more of a frown. His eyebrows are more pursed back. We talked about facial expressions a couple chapters ago, so it was just nice to see that this soon into the music video, we were able to see some forms of nonverbal communication. After this point, the men all gather in a group, which I'll just call a dining room, and a table comes up from the ground, and on top of it is a platter of hot dogs and hamburgers and only mustard. This will be important eventually. They all eat their hot dogs or hamburgers and their mustard at some point, just squeezing mustard into their mouth to get more of it. And it all seems like all is well. You know, the song is energetic. The music video is very, they all seem very happy. And then the scene cuts to them walking into a room with a bound man in red, who I will refer to as K, and they begin to torture him. Going from the jovial, happy scene before this to this torture scene, it's not graphic, obviously, it's a music video, but the difference in tone is very extreme. And you can see on Kay's face throughout the entire scene that he is obviously very panicked. After the torture scene, the men go back to the dining room and act as though nothing has happened. They eventually look on the cameras to see if Kay is still there, and when they check, he is not. At this point, all of them react very differently but similarly. They all become angry. You can tell their eyes or their eyebrows are raised. All of their facial muscles have been tensed, pulled back. Again, we learned about facial features a couple chapters ago, and it's nice just being able to see it come into play again. As they enter the room, he's nowhere to be found. He jumps down from the ceiling. He hits them. And then in the next scene, it's them. They are all at the dining room, tied down with ketchup being pumped into their veins. So K, what I've nicknamed him, stands for ketchup. There is a metaphor that we'll talk about in a little bit between ketchup and mustard. But upon waking up in the room, the group of men begin to eat all their hot dogs and hamburgers covered in ketchup. And after eating it, they begin to attack and eventually kill each other, which is where the song ends. The music video really is a trip. And even if you're not a metal person, I heavily suggest you watch this just because it's such a fever dream of a music video. Non-verbally speaking, we looked a lot at facial features, and we'll talk a little bit more about repetition when we get to this next topic, the sound on decoding. Paralinguistics, first off, screaming throughout the music video happens at just the right times. When the men become angry, the screaming comes in. After Kay kidnaps them and they don't know what's going on, the song begins to slow down. There are multiple bridges throughout the songs that give a certain atmosphere and energy, which you can tell they were going for. But there is one line, which we'll now talk about the verbal decoding, that is repeated throughout the entire song. And it is so many reasons why one should never entertain the taste of Scarlet. The metaphor for this song, just in case it hasn't been made clear, is about Christianity versus evil. Mustard is representing Christianity and ketchup is representing evil. This band is not for or against Christianity. They just like to make comments on it. But mustard is, they're all happy, always good, pure and holy. But sometimes they'll take it too far in the sense of torturing ketchup, which is supposed to be a comment on the Holy Wars. Comparison between verbal and nonverbal decoding. I mean, both portrayed the same types of nonverbal communication. When the men were angry, the music got angry. It wasn't clashing, and both presented some types of nonverbal communication to the table. In the sound off or the sound on decoding, again, it was mostly with the paralinguistics. With the sound off, it was mostly through facial features, proxemics, stuff like that. In conclusion, this song is a prime example of how nonverbal communication can exemplify your message. During the song, when the lyrics and instrumentation were meant to be angry, so was the group. When the group was eating mustard, the song kept a jovial and catchy tone and changed when Kay was being tortured and when the group began to consume ketchup. Paralinguistic barriers such as screaming kind of made it hard to decode. However, the screams were sung when the group was angry, so it was all very logical and thought out. I understand metal isn't something many people are used to, and screaming especially. However, when looking at nonverbal communication in music videos, I think this song truly shows how screaming can be used to highlight your emotions and not be just noise. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.